Dear Evelyn, this is Raphael's School of Athens. It is perhaps one of the most famous paintings of the Renaissance period. Painted between 1509 and 1511, it depicts the great minds of the ancient world, or at least those lauded by the Renaissance. It follows in the tradition of the famous men frescoes of the Roman period, which adorned many walls of that old empire. This style was aped by the Renaissance artists such as one of Raphael's own mentors, Pietro Perugino, in his Virtues and Sages. But Raphael had ideas of his own. In Raphael's work, the great men don't just stand next to each other in a kind of scholars' lineup, but they mix and debate. They engage in the inquiries that have brought them to greatness. We see not just the scholars, but the activity of scholarship itself. Notice here, for instance, Euclid surrounded by students in the distinct phases of learning. The novice pupil on his knees bends over the tablet, learning the basics of Euclidean geometry, perhaps helped by the teaching assistant with his hand on the boy's back. The student next to our entry-level one, however, wears a face of new understanding, whilst the student above him waits, hand on Euclid's shoulder, for the confirmation of a result he already understands. On the other side of the room, we have Socrates, who here doesn't dictate his advice to his students like Euclid, but harangues them about the wrongness of their beliefs. Do we sense a hint of boredom or even hostility in their faces as Socrates lists the ways that they are wrong? The central characters to this drama, and the ones that the orthogonal lines draw us towards, are Plato and Aristotle. Here we see clearly the central disagreement in Western thought, acted out between master and pupil. On the left, Plato points to the heavens, indicating his theory that we are born with precious, innate knowledge gained from the realm of the forms, whereas Aristotle points to the world, urging us to go out and gain knowledge through experience. From this essential disagreement on the origin of knowledge, all of ancient academia seems to flow. Across the fresco, we see the groups of master and student practicing their skills, and this is no surprise, given the setting at the Vatican, a library. This fresco was painted at the commission of Pope Julius II as part of the decoration for the Stanza della Segnatura, or signing room, in his private apartments. This was to decorate the Pope's place of work. The School of Athens was just one of 4 frescoes Raphael was commissioned to paint for this room, each wall representing one category of Renaissance academia. The arts and the law are represented on the 2 smaller walls, whilst opposite the School of Athens is theology, in which the fathers of the church are represented beneath Christ, hands outstretched, and all encapsulated within open nature, Earth's natural church. The School of Athens, on the other hand, frames its famous men beneath the man-made structure of Plato's academy. The message is clear: theology is derived from God, philosophy is built by men. But the structure is an interesting one and tells us something revealing about the man who commissioned this work. Giuliano della Rovere took the name Julius II when he became pope in deliberate emulation of Julius Caesar. He was a military pope. And this might explain why the architecture, which was meant to represent Plato's academy, is in fact Roman, not Greek in nature. The Greeks were all pillars and plinths, the Romans preferred the arch. In fact, the ceiling in the School of Athens seems to be an almost direct copy of the Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine. Constantine, of course, is the first Christian Roman emperor. Pope Julius II is setting out his imperial ambitions quite clearly here, and did in fact spend a good portion of his papacy at war. But here the imperialism serves a different purpose. We forget that so many of the intellectuals here were at one time or another branded retrospective heretics by the Catholic Church. Aristotle, for instance, was largely sidelined by the Church until his rehabilitation at the hands of Aquinas. But now this band of previously maligned figures adorn the private library of the Pope himself. Their restoration and coming dominance on Western thought is now cemented in the very walls of European culture. In the background of Raphael's School of Athens is one of the most iconic of all Roman architectural works, the Triumphal Arch. And Plato and Aristotle the great secular scholars of Western thought process through it. Sweet dreams. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share everywhere. I'd like to send a big thank you to Jethro Line, my friend, and an expert in art history who told me everything I needed to know about the School of Athens. I definitely didn't do his knowledge justice. Also, I was in a podcast last week. Check out the link in the description below. I will see you next time. Bye.